No warning is out for this storm, but we have this large area of red that's just made it across Research Park. It's tracking to the lowering of the clouds is right on the back of that hook echo. Take your tornado precautions in Russellville. You can get our simulcast coverage there. Wrapping up, large tornado right over the Tennessee River. This is going to be in Coxie in 5 minutes here. Heads up, we're probably going to need heavy rescue out here in Coxie and areas just to the west of Athens. This is an extremely dangerous, potentially violent storm.
Blankets in there, but this would have been a safe room. Now to the unsafe room where your kids might be sleeping. Take a look at this bedroom here. F4 tornado rated at that time. I have a feeling that this is going to be either a high-end EF4 or a low-end on the wind scale of an EF5. We've got twisted metal at this gas station. This gentleman also told me there's homes in this subdivision that are destroyed. There are also homes that have been pulled.
To begin thinking about your safest place during severe weather in your house, well, you have to look beyond the walls, beyond the drywall that's hung on those walls, and to the framing of the house itself. This particular house being built. So what's the problem? Well, it's a growing problem, and it's right behind me. These trees have now grown tall enough to block the radar. In fact, you can't even see the radar site from the road.
A lot of buzz, especially on social media yesterday with your announcement of the number of named storm. You're going with 7 named storms, 3 hurricanes, and 1 major hurricane. What went into your decision for fewer hurricanes?
Yeah, we're predicting a well below average hurricane season this year, and primarily due to the fact we expect a moderate to strong El Niño.
From spring to winter in a matter of hours today, this is all just rain still, but we are anticipating this to change over after midnight tonight. That's when the winter storm warning begins. It has been moved up. More in your forecast is coming up. Well, not a bad late afternoon, early evening. Here's the view. Maybe your office window looks like this as you're maybe watching us while the boss isn't around at WAFF.com or our weather app where we're streaming right now. Out of Research Park, it's 66 degrees on the Alpha Camera Network. Beautiful picture here sent into Pix, P-I-X at WAFF.com. Looks like from Amy Jo Photography. This hummingbird just about ready to take flight here. You can share your pictures with us right from our mobile app. You just push one of those photo buttons down there. You can send it right from your phone. As far as the rain goes, it's down here to the south, Birmingham to Tuscaloosa, and it's really starting to break up. And there's nothing else on the way, at least for tonight. Tomorrow night, a completely different story. The cloud cover continues to be rather thick, but there are breaks, especially as you go across the shoals. Those breaks allowing for those upper 60s a little farther to the west. Here's your forecast for the evening commute on the way home. No rain like yesterday, no hail. 64 degrees at 5, 64 at 6, and 63 at 7. We're going to talk all about that threat for severe weather coming tomorrow night, and then perhaps another round coming Saturday afternoon in a few minutes. Earlier, it's produced widespread 80-mile-per-hour winds. The only hope is it gets north of the warm front and weakens a bit. But there's still some severe weather happening in southeast Arkansas we need to watch too. But if anything, it's mainly wind tonight. And tomorrow's tornado threat may not be as high as some of the forecasts would indicate as far as the instability goes. We're going to get to that in a second. Let's go ahead and take a look right now, a live look using the U.S. Space Center Rocket Center location. A Friday night, it's 61 degrees. Our temperatures are going to hold steady and in the low 60s for the rest of the night. The wind's going to start to pick up, and eventually we'll get some heavier rain, and that'll be followed by the thunderstorms. Well, let's get to live storm tracker Doppler radar. Just some heavier rain beginning to develop northwest of Russellville. This is not severe whatsoever. This is going to track up to the north, and eventually the radar will be filling up. We'll be here streaming throughout the night tonight as the threat moves in, but I will tell you right now, if you're planning on waiting up until 2 o'clock in the morning when all this moves in, it's going to be a long wait. So we're not looking at any real risk of severe weather right now the way it looks until about 2 o'clock, and that's out in the shoals. So perhaps 4 o'clock in the Huntsville metro area, and then 5 and 6 o'clock here across northeast Alabama. Let's get into your forecast. We'll take a look at this threat out here to the west. New tornado watch has just been issued for parts of northern Louisiana, and this stretches all the way into Mississippi, but there's nothing farther to the north along that line. But we're going to keep an eye on this area right here, southern Arkansas and southwestern Arkansas near Texarkana, Texas. That's where that real nasty line of thunderstorms is. All of this is tracking to the north and east with time. So let's get into the time frame here for severe weather around here overnight tonight. Primary threat, heavy rain. I think that the threat is high to have A widespread area of 45 to 55 mile per hour winds move through between 2 and 5 o'clock in the morning. The threat is low for tornadoes, but anytime you get this volatile of a situation with this high wind coming through, you can get those low end spin up tornadoes. So right now, again, main impact, high wind and heavy rain. Here's our timeline to about 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. from Florence to Russellville to Hamilton. Most likely on average time is going to be about 2:30 in the morning. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Fayetteville, Athens, Decatur, Huntsville, down through Coleman, the rest of southern Morgan County. This is 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., but I would divide that in half. Probably most likely biggest impact moving in around 4 in the morning and then around 5 in the morning. So between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., Scottsboro up to Chattanooga to Fort Payne, down to Albertville and Boaz and Sardis City. This is all out of here by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. But one thing I'm seeing here is there's some new development late tomorrow morning right behind it, and that's actually good news. Going back in time, not much happened earlier this evening, and here we are right now. A few showers out there, but the heavier rain starts to move in. Here we go around 3 o'clock in the morning with the winds picking up across the shoals, and then this huge complex of thunderstorms rolls through. There's going to be a lot of lightning, a lot of noise out there, and a lot of rumbling between 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning. Very heavy rain and high winds, and the trees are going to be susceptible. As we mentioned earlier, Sarah Navoy had a report. You may be able to go back and look at that online at WFF.com. She had that at 5 o'clock, talking about how saturated the ground is. So it's not going to take as much wind as we typically are used to with some of these bigger trees to knock them over. So maybe a 50 mile per hour wind hitting them just right. The soil's pretty loose out there due to the recent rainfall, could knock some of them over. 7:30 in the morning. Here's some new development here back here to the west. So this indicates that we may see the rain cooled air last a little bit longer, and that definitely looks better as far as the threat for severe weather tomorrow afternoon. But we cannot rule out the tornado threat, the wind threat, and the hail threat tomorrow. The peak time would be between noon and about 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, a shorter window, and the most likely area continues to be lined up along I-65 and to the east between noon and 5. It's not going to be widespread. These will be isolated thunderstorms. As we go past 11 o'clock, still that chance for some isolated storms. After 12:30, look what happens to the temperatures. We start to see the sunshine and we warm up into the mid-80s. So a very warm afternoon. I would not cancel any of your outdoor plans, but make sure you have a way to stay weather aware. Follow the 48 Storm Team. We'll let you know when it's time to take shelter if need be, and when those storms do develop. It's possible most of the day will end up sunny, especially out in the shoals. Here's your forecast for the next 7 days. 84 tomorrow, 77 on Sunday, much quieter weather there. 72 on Monday. Next storm system comes in and gives us a high of 70 on Tuesday with a chance of some light rain showers. 69 on Wednesday. And then I think Thursday, Friday, maybe even Saturday of next week, we'll get a break from Mother Nature with dry weather and sunshine.
Would that be nice? A weekend without any rain.
That would be nice.
Let's settle this down.
But yes, there's no need to panic. I mean, it's not set in stone. We're going to get severe weather tomorrow. But if we do, we're going to be here, and you know where to go to get the coverage.